My name is Felipe Romero, and I am the director of the Brownsville Convention and Visitors Bureau, and I'd like to welcome you to discover our city here in Brownsville, Texas. Our very own Boca Chica Beach houses SpaceX, a rocket production facility and spaceport. The Gmbtx Zoo is a zoological and botanical park dedicated to the preservation of nature through education, conservation, and healthy outdoor recreation and research. The Sable Palm Sanctuary is a wonderful birding location down here at the southernmost tip of Texas. With guided tours every Saturday, this 527-acre preserve is a wonderful place to bring your family and friends. The Sable Palm Sanctuary is also home to the Rad Plantation House. The Biological Battlefield National Historical Park is a wonderful preservation of our history down in the border. This 2020 James Beard Award winner is Velas Barbecue, which is considered one of the best barbecue places in Texas. Linear Park houses our Brownsville Farmers Market, which is a bicultural tourist destination. The all-inclusive market has over 43 vendors and is set along a walking trail, which is also pet-friendly. There are so many places to see, things to do, places to eat, hotels to stay. Come find out why we love this city right here in Brownsville, Texas.
Not a good time to be a crypto owner. No more hot girl summer, and Brownsville, Texas, official best of America. It is Friday, May 13th, 7:04 a.m. Friday the 13th. My name is Frank Olivo, and this is Good Morning Brownsville. And always, everyone's favorite segment, the weather. The city of Brownsville is looking at a warm 74 degrees. Not a lot to look forward to. It is going to be in the 90s throughout the whole week. But the interesting thing is that we should be experiencing the possibility of having a hurricane in the near future. Now, these models that we see here show that there is a possibility of a strong possible tropical storm forming in the Gulf of Mexico, which currently right now is in the Caribbean. But there is some slight chance that this might continue to increase, and possibly their developments, depending on the trajectory, whether that goes to Louisiana or down south to Mexico. But there is a strong possibility that we will be having hurricane season this year. Now, it's been I can't remember the last time the city of Brownsville had a hurricane. And again, many questions arise: do we have the proper infrastructure? Are we ready for a hurricane? We always joke about how, it pours a little bit, and it seems like if Boca Chica and other important cities within streets within our city seem to flood. So by the end of May, we should be experiencing a strong possibility of a hurricane. And when's the last time we got one with strong winds and lots of water? It's been a while. Is our infrastructure ready for this type of hurricane? Only time will tell. We have been very vocal about our city leaders focusing and investing back in our infrastructure, while a $100,000 proposition was put on the table for voters to vote for a county arena in the city of Brownsville. Many have argued and stated, hey, we need to fix our streets. We need to fill in those potholes. And most importantly, we need to work on our infrastructure for cases such as this. So are we ready for a hurricane? There is a slight chance that one might form by the end of May. It is forming in the Caribbean. So we will be monitoring that situation because, again, the city of Brownsville does not have the proper infrastructure needed to be able to survive a strong hurricane. And now for financial news. Again, Papi Musk. We always seem to be talking about Papi Musk. I think I should just change the name to Papi Musk. Good morning, Papi Musk. Well, it seems as if not everything is okay in the okay corral. It seems as if the deal that Elon Musk previously had to purchase Twitter for $43 billion is currently now on hold. Now, there are many things that go into a purchase as large as this. Many have questioned the motives of the world's richest man of trying to control one of the largest platforms we have today. He has openly stated that it is because of free speech, and many have argued and said, "Well, this is an individual that if you don't go along with what he says, he cuts you off. He has an authoritative personality that whatever he says goes." But the interesting thing is that the purchase of Twitter, is currently on hold. And again, there's a lot of dynamics to go behind this. And since the news broke out that Elon Musk was in the works of acquiring Twitter, we have seen the markets fluctuate. Uh, we have seen how Twitter has dropped significantly since it was announced that Elon Musk was going to be um, recruiting investors to help him make this purchase. We have seen how Tesla in this past month alone has dropped close to 29-30% of its value. Currently, right now, it is at 728. Now, while you might ask and say, hey, what does this have to do with the Twitter purchase? Well, remember, Elon Musk does not have $43 billion in whole cold hard cash. These individuals, they deal with um, fake money, pretty much. It's what they're worth. They don't have it in the bank. Well, what was interesting to note was that the purchase for Twitter was going to be with the backings of Tesla. Elon Musk did sell some shares privately before in order for him to cover most of the cost. I think it was like $7 billion in cash, and the other money was raised through investors. But now the market has um, is going through its ups and downs, so to speak. Throughout the world, we have seen how the economy is not faring well for investors. So Elon Musk's purchase on Twitter is currently on hold. Now, is this something for us to be worried about? There is a clause in this purchase that if this deal does not go through, he's still on the hook for $1 billion. So again, $43 billion on the table to buy Twitter. But as of right now, the world market is crashing. Tesla is down. It seems as if our world is getting more expensive. We previously talked about inflation and how the world has gotten a lot more expensive, it seems. Well, this has not only affected our consumer goods, but it has affected us in the pockets and especially in the stock market. And it is affecting Twitter. So could Twitter be on the verge of not being in the possession of Papi Musk in the near future? Possibly. Again, anything is possible. We have seen how the market right now is not favorable to anybody. And we just got a word that yesterday, crypto owners lost over $200 billion that were erased from the crypto market. Now, there's a lot of things that go into play regarding these types of situations. Now, as we all know, Uncle Sam wants his hand in everything. If Uncle Sam sees that there is profit, Uncle Sam will tax. Now, the United States government, of course, does not want to lose the currency of the dollar. Now, that will disrupt nations, that will disrupt our modern society as we know it, because we are so dependent on the dollar and currency. And now we have seen a new wave of digital currency and digital technology that many have guessed and estimated that in the next 30, 40, 50 years, the dollar is going to be a thing of the past. And now digital coins and digital currency are going to be what many businesses accept as value. And the interesting thing is that Bitcoin, Ethereum, there's so many, there's other upcoming digital coins out there that it's hard to keep up with. And just how the economy is suffering, so is the crypto market. Bitcoin dropped to $27,000 The last I checked was at $25,000. Now, before you ask and say, hey, what does that matter? Well, let's not forget that Bitcoin at one point, at its highest point, was at $43, which is very, very impressive to see. Now we're starting to see this hard dip. Now, what gives? What's going to happen next? Are we in a situation where we're going to see a recession in the near future? That is what many economists are anticipating. We have seen the rise of inflation, and whether you want to blame the war on Russia, whether you want to blame immigration policies, there are so many issues that go into inflation per se. But we can all agree that consumer goods is at an all-time high. Now we have seen how the interest rates for credit cards, for mortgages, did go up, and the very next day the market crashed. Now, are we going to see the same thing with cryptocurrency? That is what it seems as if. But again, cryptocurrency is very volatile. Is it a good time to jump in the market? Is it FOMO? How all my friends say. FOMO is a fear of missing out. Many individuals say, "I need to buy into the market. I need to jump now because if not, I'm losing money." Dogecoin is a digital currency that became popular through Elon Musk. And it was impressive to see how it rose. And here we see the stock market for Bitcoin. And over the last month alone, it has dropped over 20%. Now, should this be a cause for concern for individuals? Possibly. But again, we are starting to see how United States regulators and the government has openly opposed this new wave. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's going to affect the pocketbooks of many rich people. And again, those people with money, they always invest. They're always the first ones to invest. Now, are they taking the hit of it? Of course. But it's interesting to see how this will be affecting the world as a whole. Again, Elon Musk is on the verge of purchasing Twitter, and his idea was that, again, these multi-billionaires, they don't have cold hard cash. They're not like DuckTales where they have a pot of gold in their house, but it is all through stocks. It is all makeup money, and we are in the verge of possibly seeing Twitter not go through, the sale of Twitter not go through because of the stock markets, because of Bitcoin. Again, Tesla is down 30%. And Elon Musk was going to use that stock from Tesla to purchase Twitter. But again, the market is not favorable to just about anybody. In tech news, no more hot girl summer. We are on the brink of summertime. We have been very vocal about encouraging individuals to go out and get some sun rays, to go out to the beach. It is a perfect time to be out there with your loved ones and enjoy our natural resource that we have in our backyard. Well, is our summer about to change? Will we no longer have a hot girl summer? Instagram will no longer be providing filters in the state of Texas. The Attorney General, Ken Paxton, did file a lawsuit on behalf of the state of Texas against Metabase, or what is known as Facebook, for legally obtaining, according to our Attorney General, legally obtaining our digital fingerprint through our facial recognition. These apps such as Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, I believe in TikTok, they have a system that collects our information, that collects our facial recognition. And again, let's not be naive. The federal government taps into these resources such as Snapchat, Instagram, to collect data on us ordinary people. They target drug traffickers. They traffic human smugglers using these types of facial recognitions. Now, individuals who use this, automatically it sends a ping. It sends a ping to the federal government and says, hey, this individual might be the suspect that you are looking for. So are we beginning to see the end of the hot girl summer? Now you can say, Frankie, who cares? Our lives are, even though our lives are dependent on the social media platforms, who cares about a filter or two? But really, who cares about a filter? Our lives revolve around social media. Our lives depend on social media. It seems as if we can't live without our phone and without pictures and without filters. It seems that is our new world. It is interesting to note that many individuals poke jabs and say, "Hey, you do not look like your pictures. You use too many filters." How on your pictures, Frankie Olivo is a beautiful human being, but up in person, he's a scary beast. He's a scary monster. Um, the Texas and the state of Illinois, on behalf of their citizens, did file a lawsuit against Meta-based Facebook to avoid them collecting this data and this information. And you might say, "Hey, I got nothing to hide. Who cares?" But again, we previously spoke on Wednesday how you give the government a foot and they want to take a mile. It is impressive to see how these social media platforms they have been gaining throughout the years our information. Don't you find it weird that whenever we talk about something, we always get a pop-up on Facebook and says, "Do you want to purchase chocolates?" I was talking with a friend of mine about something random. I think it was some sort of clothing or something like that. I said, "Oh, I want to get this clothes." Da, 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 da. 5 minutes later, I'm looking on my phone, and I start getting ads for these apparel companies. And I'm sure you've gotten it too. Why? Because they are listening, they're monitoring to our everyday needs, and they're providing us with consumer goods and saying, "Oh, weren't you talking about this? Don't you need this?" The same thing with Instagram, with Snapchat, with TikTok. They collect our digital images, and they store it for the government to tap into and to possibly look after or go after a drug trafficker or a someone that's involved in sex trafficking. Again, do not put it behind the government that they are obviously monitoring these social media platforms to make sure to see who is really behind, who is the face behind that telephone. Are we going to see the beginning of the end of the hot girl summer? And the reason why I say that is because summer's around the corner, and as we all know, we all like to go to the beach and take pictures. Are we going to see Frankie Olivo not look his best because Frankie Olivo will not be able to use filters? It seems that way. Again, the state of Texas did file a lawsuit, and to avoid any confrontation, Facebook did rescind their filters for the state of Texas. And some filters you will be able to use, but the majority of them regarding your facial recognition, that will be no longer in existence, which for many of us, and I'm speaking for myself, many of us ugly people, it is going to be a daunting day in the social media world in the state of Texas moving forward. And now for our feature story. The city of Brownsville was recently has been promoted themselves as the official city of America, or the best of America. Now, while it is not a common occurrence for a entity to take part in these endeavors, the main purpose of the city of Brownsville, or any entity, is to try and promote their city as much as possible. We have the likes of South Padre Island, McAllen, who have been very active to try and get tourism. South Padre Island does not suffer from that, but we have seen how the city of Brownsville has been focusing on promoting SpaceX, on promoting South Padre Island, on promoting our Gladys Porter Zoo, the Port of Brownsville. And we have openly stated that the city of Brownsville is a gem. We have so many natural resources at our disposal that we should be in competition with the cities such as McAllen, Farr, Edinburgh, and those other thriving cities in the upper Rio Grande Valley. We have stated that no other city compares to the city of Brownsville because we do have all these natural resources: 2 beaches, a port, international bridges. We can come and go to Mexico, the Gladys Porter Zoo, SpaceX. It should be that city on the hill. The interesting thing is right now that the city of Brownsville is currently going through some administrative changes at the communications department. It is said that the individual Felipe Romero is no longer in charge of the communications department. It is interesting to note that Laura Martinez, who works for the Brownsville Herald, previously stated just last night on her Twitter page, and she said, "Hey, we need to focus on our communications department for the city of Brownsville. Why? Because whenever I ask McAllen for a press release, for any information, I get it on a daily basis. In fact, I get 4 releases from the city of Brownsville. When it comes to from the city of McAllen, when it comes to Brownsville, that's not the case. There are many discussions right now as to the direction that the city of Brownsville is taking in regards to our communications department. There are many that argue and said that Felipe Romero was an appointee, obviously, of our city manager, and his relationship with him in previous cases. That is the reason why he obtained this position. Now it is said that assistant city manager Helen Ramirez is supportive of a woman that many argue does not have any experience in this field, and one would need vast knowledge in these types of endeavors. Why? Because at the end of the day, our communications department is the mouth of the city. It is the department that gives communications out to the world. It gives out to reporters, and especially now, since Brownsville is on the crisp or on the crisp of trying to grow and attract businesses. Now we have been fortunate to have SpaceX here that has really put the city of Brownsville on a map. But at the same time, are we being affected by not having adequate representation or adequate individuals in key departments to try and promote the city of Brownsville? Because at the end of the day, the main role for the leaders of the city of Brownsville and the communications department is to promote the city, to make it as appealing as possible. Now, many have argued and stated, "Oh, well, the city of Brownsville paid for this, to be on this official Best of America." And I understand, individuals, they do have the resentment of saying, "Hey, couldn't that money be spent elsewhere, or couldn't have brought in better good to spend $30,000 on X, Y, and Z?" Now, while I could understand people's frustrations, but at the end of the day, we need to spend money. We need to spend money to make money. All those famous sharks say, if you're not spending money, you're not making money. We need to spend money. We need to, and I believe the city of Brownsville in previous administrations, they did pay for the American city. And that was plastered all over the news and said, "Oh, look, we are America's best city. And we are one of America's best cities." And many have argued and stated, "Hey, y'all purchased this prize to be able to say that." Again, I understand people's frustrations, but at the end of the day, I see nothing wrong with it. As an entity, as a municipality, you need to compete. McAllen is doing the exact same thing. McAllen is paying for promotions. They're paying for recognition. Now, McAllen is on a whole different level. I just found out that they have an incredible dinosaur exhibit that looks very real, and I actually want to check it out. And McAllen is kind of leaving us behind. So we need to do everything possible to try and promote our city, because at the end of the day, it falls on our elected officials to do everything possible to make sure that they get the attention of the outside world to promote Brownsville. Again, we have the luxury of having a city that has many resources, and for whatever reason, and we can make the argument that for whatever reason, it does not seem to jive. Why? Because could political leaders be on the take for themselves? Possibly. But we are all in supportive of the city of Brownsville, of trying to do everything possible to make sure that we get as much exposure to the outside world. Again, many people have argued, "Oh, we're just encouraging gentrification. We are encouraging people from California to move down. We are starting to see how our appraisal values have gone up. The housing market is ridiculous. I can't own a home, so I'm going to start renting." The city of Brownsville is now part of the official Best of America. And what does it do? It tries to promote and say, "Hey, look, the city of Brownsville is a city on the map, and this is a destination that you should go to. Visit Brownsville" is the slogan. Again, while I understand that individuals are questioning the motives and the money behind this endeavor, I support it. Why? Because to make money, you need to spend money. And whether that means that we purchase these recognitions, hey, so be it. I like to think that the city is doing everything possible to try and get big businesses to come. And of course, the retail market compared to McAllen is we can't compare. We can't compare. You know, they have better restaurants, they have better attractions. They have the luxury of being living in a metropolitan area, which that area alone is over 1.2, 1.5 million residents, which they have the fortunate of reeking in all that money. But the city of Brownsville is not on the same playing field as McAllen. And while McAllen does spend money on these type of recognitions, we need to do a lot more to be able to compete. And we do have the advantage of having businesses such as SpaceX, which has brought worldwide attention and has uh, caused many individuals from the UK, Australia, all over the world to relocate to the city of Brownsville. Is this what we need moving forward? I do believe so. We need to do everything possible to try and promote Brownsville and put the city on the map. Even though many argue and question the motives, I do support these endeavors because at the end of the day, it is to promote Brownsville, attract businesses, and we do need something to stimulate the economy, provide jobs, and provide a better quality of life for you and I, but most importantly, for our youth. We want to provide jobs. We want to make Brownsville the place to live and the place to be. And hopefully, it is endeavors such as the city of Brownsville being the official city of America. Hopefully that will get us there one day. And that, my friends, is the rest of the story. No more hot girl summer. Are we beginning to see the end of beautiful Frankie without his filters? Only time will tell. And now the weather. It seems as if our area is going to be hit with a hurricane. Models project that late May we should get some traction. Whether the trajectory shifts north to Louisiana or down south to Mexico, that remains to be seen. But we have yet to receive a hurricane in so many years. Is the city of Brownsville prepared to withstand all that rain and all that wind? Our infrastructure has been questionable as of late. So we hope that the city of Brownsville is working actively to clear out those dirty resacas to try and prevent flooding in the city of Brownsville. The economy has been shut. Tesla is down 30%. Elon Musk put a hold on his Twitter purchase because the crypto market is down and the stock market is down. How will that affect that purchase moving forward? It seems as if that is in a standstill for now. And for the feature story, Brownsville, Texas, official best of America. We need to promote our city. We need to do everything possible to make sure that the world knows where Brownsville, Texas, the city is located on the map, and most importantly, what resources we have available to provide the outside world. That way they can come spend their money, buy houses, invest in the city of Brownsville, and hopefully one day we can have and provide a better quality of life for our future generations. Guys, it is Friday the 13th. Be careful out there. Don't look for Jason. Jason's out to kill you. It is Friday, May 13th, 7:30 a.m. My name is Frankie Olivo. Thank you so much for your time and your patience. Hope you guys have a good week. God bless. Hope to see you all here on Monday.